Okay, so we're here with Anne from Keebitz, which is a Techstars startup. And today we're going to talk about kind of making the big decision and how you go from one startup to pivoting to kind of a whole nother startup, which is something that Keebitz experienced. So first, Anne, just thanks for having us out and for meeting with us today. We really appreciate it. And just give us a little bit of background. What is Keebitz, and how did you guys get started?
Okay, so Keebitz automates referral marketing. So today, successful merchants, they reward their customers with gift cards for referring them to their friends. And they do it with paper. And we saw that, so we thought we could automate it. And that's what Keebitz is about. Okay,
great. So Anne, tell us just first a little bit about kind of your Techstars experience. Just give us a tiny bit of background there.
Yeah. So when we arrived at Techstars, we are French, so that's why I have an accent, and we are a little bit critical and skeptical. So we thought that's very American to be like, how to build a company in 3 months. So we didn't believe really in the process, but still we played the game. We read the books, we interviewed the merchants, and then we stumbled upon one of the merchants who was introduced by one of our mentors. And we saw that he was particularly successful, and we wanted to know why and how.
Okay, and so just one of the things that we're going to talk to Anne about today, or the thing we're going to focus on, is Keebitz went through a big pivot. And so what was the original startup called?
So originally we came with a startup which name is Advertory.
Advertory, okay.
And Advertory helps, for instance, imagine you're a dentist and you want to rank well on Google for dentist Seattle downtown. We help you rank well on Google, and we do it in an industrialized way.
Okay, so you started as Advertory? Okay, so you started with that, and then you entered the Techstars program and made a pivot and actually changed your brand to Keebitz and essentially changed your business. I think that a lot of startups could really learn from this experience. So at what point did you make the decision that we need to make this change?
Well, when we met this merchant, we thought that's amazing. And I thought he's not a great dentist, he's a marketing genius. So we tried to understand why he was so successful and how his system worked. And then we thought, that's huge. We did a market research and we understood that could be used for other markets like car dealers, realtors, insurers, loaners. And we thought that also with mobile, that local search will be completely changed, that local search is not the same on mobile as it is on desktop. And we thought that could be actually the fit, that would fit the usage of people, how they recommend small businesses. And that was the starting point for us to think about automating it.
Right, okay, so I think one of the problems that all of us entrepreneurs can relate to is that we get really kind of in love with and hooked and almost blinded by our product or our service or whatever we're building. And I think it's admirable that you guys were actually able to identify a problem and completely shift. You're not only just a small pivot, but your whole brand. So talk a little bit about that process, and I mean how does that happen? I understand understanding a different idea, but how did you make that decision to switch the whole brand?
It's a difficult decision because that's funny. Everybody kept teaching us, about customer development, Steve Blank, everything, doing the interviews. We went through the process, and when we decided, when we saw this opportunity, and we decided to change, a lot of people, even in Texas, they were like, "Why are you doing it?" They were very concerned about it, about our pivot. And for us, it was not an easy decision. Even internally, we had debates about it, but it was a kind of instinct, something that we saw, and we had to take the decision. Either we stay with what we have, which was our first child, we are in love, or you think, okay, and now we need a second child, and this child is more, how to say, he comes out of necessity. And he will be very useful, because he meets the requirements and the needs of the market. And that's what we saw. We had before a problem-solution fit with Advertory, but with Keebitz, we think we have a product-market fit. It really meets the needs of the market, and that's a big difference. And that's what we learned, at Textiles.
So did you guys have a conversation about maybe just having a second company and doing kind of two separate things, or how did you make the decision to just do it as one new company?
It's a second company because the first company came from Europe. It's a German company, a German entity. And this one is an American entity.
Okay.
It's based in Delaware. It's a new brand. It's really everything new. So it was a difficult decision, but at the same time, for the need of textiles, we needed an American company anyway. So that was not a problem for us.
So one of the things that I think most of us know about Techstars, or if we don't, we should, is that it comes with all these unbelievable mentors. And I know you mentioned that yours was Jillian from SEO Moz. So did she have, or your mentors in general, did they have any impact on this decision? To make this big pivot?
A big impact, because the first thing Jillian told me when I met her is that advertory is 1.0. When you go out of textiles, you have to have advertory 3.0. So what she meant with that is that it was a nice approach what we did first, but that the future would be on mobile. And she said, you have to leapfrog, you have to be ahead of the game. And then she started very soon orienting our strategy in a very smart way, but without forcing, kind of suggesting, things. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that she introduced us to these merchants where we found the idea, and it completely changed the trajectory of our path, So we have to say that what Jillian did was huge. She made a huge impact, and if today Keebitz exists, it's also thanks to her.
Great. Okay. So I think that the main things that we can kind of learn from this as, starting Seattle fans or entrepreneurs in general is that one, mentors are unbelievably important because they can kind of see from a macro lens, they can see what's going on and they're not so close to the product. But two, sometimes making the big decisions, even though it's hard, is important. And I think we all know that, but we don't necessarily do it and act on it. And so I think that's why, I wanted to talk to you about that today. So one of the things we want to start doing with these videos is giving you, the founder, an opportunity to kind of address the audience with anything you want. So do you have anything that you want to tell, the Started in Seattle audience about Keebitz, your sales, or anything like that?
Yes, so today also the second thing is that when you arrive, you think, we are very naive, that if we build the product the market wants, that after you launch it, there will be a miracle and it will explode the growth.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Even if you have the right product, you have to get the word out. Mm-hmm. You have to get the right people to know that this product that they need exists. So what we did first, we started to sell it directly, also to fine-tune our sales model and our pitch. And we saw that it worked, but we thought it would only work through referrals, And then we did launch at the dental convention here in Seattle, and we started seeing people coming to us and saying, that's great, I like it, from markets that we didn't even think about. So we thought, okay, we have to have a direct sales approach. So that's what we also are starting now. We are hiring sales reps, and we are seeing already the results. So we are starting to scale it, and that's something that when we come from technology, we forget. That sales is very important, and how you scale your sales strategy and how you make it bigger. That's what we are doing now.
All right, so if you guys haven't already, check out Keebitz.com. It's Keebitz.com. This is Anne. Thanks so much for having us out, Anne.
Thank you, Chad.